This is most definitely a topic that I've been saving for a while because every time I try to discuss it, I get a little riled up. So I'm going to try to remain chill, cool, calm, collected. So here I go. I'm guessing this might be something that happens everywhere, but do you guys experience this bullshit where there's that one person, or maybe when you were younger and you had like a starter job, this happened. You had that one person that it's like they're broken to the point that they're just, let's call it what it is, just useless. I have had people who behave that way really close to me, and I hate it because this person I can think of, along with many others, is not like you're old. It's not like you're legitimately disabled. And I don't like to compare people in this regard because I don't think it's fair to try to find someone who has it worse. But let's just say that I know people who could use a physical limitation as an excuse, but they still get their job done. And that just makes me wonder if this is just a case of extreme laziness, and how can I identify cases when a person is just tripping because it's extreme laziness. But I know people who do not like to lift heavy. They claim to not be able to lift heavy, and I'm like, you're supposed to be stronger than me because, say, you're a guy, you're a little older, stuff like that. You seem to be physically more fit than I am, naturally, little details like that. And there is no known medical reason for you to be this weak. I look at it as you're just refusing to do the job. Some people, the matter is that they got the job because during the pandemic, their office closed. So they applied, and I guess they just assumed that this was a low-skilled job, therefore it was going to be easy. Those little details. And I just completely hate it because evidently places are opening back up. This is not the line of work that you like to have. You like to be an admin, you like to be sitting down, you don't like to be physical. So go ahead and take yourself, submit an application to a job that's suitable for you, and leave. Because when you're here, I'm expecting for you as part of this team to do your part. Bring me my supplies if that's the job that you're supposed to have. Stay at your station if that's what you're scheduled to do. Go out there and fix things up, straighten things up, monitor the supplies and shit so that people don't get mad at you when stuff is incomplete. But the reason I get irritated is because we hire some people for a particular role. Let's say cashier. We throw you in a register, and what is the first thing you start doing? You start complaining about the job. You start complaining about the customers. You start complaining about codes. You start complaining about how big the orders are. You start complaining about how boring it is. You start complaining about the computer. You start complaining about how you're stuck there. It is one of the coolest jobs ever if you let it be. I didn't dream of having that job, but having it for so long, I can actually appreciate the art that's behind it. But you don't take the time to do that. For me, what pisses me off is that you're not even as good as I am, particularly since I have more experience, but you're still sitting there acting like you deserve to get paid more when you don't even put out the same performance and results and productivity that I put out. And I'm not there talking to you all saying, I need to get paid more for this. It's weird that I, the actual deserving person of more money, am not saying that I should be getting paid more than I already do. Why? Because I like to build my way up to that progress. Is it unfair that inflation destroys my earnings faster than my earnings grow? Of course it is. But at least I embrace the process of actually growing gradually. But you clowns want to start getting paid well without putting in the effort of cultivating your own self as a worker to get there. But then you're coming in there, not even remotely comparable to what I can do based on my experience, and you're sitting there saying that you need to get paid more, and you do the bare minimum, and you say it to my face too. You go, I want to do self-checkout instead because I want to do as little as possible. You just stand there, and if that's what makes you proud, then be it. Do so. But don't try to sit there and claim that you're worth more than me when your skills are limited. I just don't understand where this attitude is coming from. Something else that I have seen is that when it rains, whatever the hell you gotta do outside, changing the trash cans, like putting new bags over them. When it's raining, nobody wants to get wet. When it's super hot, nobody wants to get sweaty. When it's super cold, nobody wants to go out there in the cold and whatever. Like, resilience, where is it? It's like people just want to be comfortable, but you don't deserve to be comfortable. You're not in a position to be comfortable. That's not what you signed up for. And I think that's where my frustration comes from, because I remember when I was new, I cannot imagine a life in which I say, oh, I cannot go out there to the parking lot and get carts because it's raining. You guys, believe me, it was torrentially raining outside, and I had someone ask me if I would be okay with taking the groceries out to the customer at the parking lot, even though the customer deliberately picked like being right in front of the building. And I was like, okay, why? What's happening? And it's like, oh, well, it's because it's raining. And I'm like, and the rain is not made of acid. I went out there, I put on my raincoat from my knees downward. Sure, I got a little soaked, whatever, but I did not get blown away. Lightning didn't strike me. I didn't catch goddamn pneumonia, anything like that. I did it. I got it done. It wasn't going to get done because you don't want to go out there in the rain. How stupid is that? You people are supposed to be the ones I'm going to have around me if we had like a legitimate domestic threat around here. Modern days disgust me to a certain degree because we have gotten so comfortable that some people took that comfort to an extreme. I'm not saying I'm the bravest. I'm not saying I could survive out there in a forested area all by myself with nothing, but at least I'm not chickening out from the tasks that my job requires of me. See what I mean? And it's just crazy how much effort people put into arguing with management about not wanting to do a specific job. I hate SCO. I sure do. But when I'm asked to do it, I'm like, I have to do it. I gotta do it because I'm needed. But if the circumstances allow it, sure, I'll get myself out of it because SCO is such a dumbass job that I want something that challenges me. What you motherfuckers want to do is just stand there and chill. I'm the opposite. I need to be moving. It's just absurd to me that you're asking to upgrade your tasks and assignments when you cannot even handle the job title that you actually hold. No, you don't have a right to be demanding other things. But it really bothers me that we have people who just cannot stand for long, cannot get wet, cannot sweat, cannot lift heavy, all that shit. And I'm just like, shit. The only time I refuse to do something is lifting heavy boxes over my shoulders because I'm physically incapable of doing so. But what I like to do is collaborate with someone. It's like, if you can lift this box on your own and it's more helpful to do it on your own, go ahead and do it for me. But if we can, let's lift it together. That's what I like to do. It frustrates me because I think of it as if I had children, these are the clowns who are going to be taking care of my child's education to an extent when I'm away in the daytime. And it disgusts me. I'm just frustrated. I wanted to let that out of my system. I've probably said most of the things that I just said before, but I just want to know if you guys have observed a pattern of people becoming lazy. And I know that some of you guys may do jobs that are so demanding when it comes to attention to detail and being resilient because your safety and life depends on it, especially like industrial kinds of jobs. Imagine if everybody decided to be continuously lazy and just not do things. Occupational safety would probably be an issue that gives problems more often than we even get to hear about. But I just look at the stuff around us and I'm thinking, if everybody had the attitude that I've been observing right now across all industries and all levels and everything, we wouldn't have any of this. Like, none of this stuff would be maintained. But now I'm seeing this whole avoid negativity and avoid discomfort. And I'm thinking, no, you want the good things in life, but you're not deserving of the good things in life if you cannot withstand a little bit of adversity. What do you guys think? I'm not saying that my way of being is superior. I'm just saying that attitudinally, you ought to develop strength. All I'm seeing is weakness. And I'm starting to connect the dots of the shit that you complain about that happens to you. You deserve it happening to you because you haven't developed the skills to resist this shit because you keep running away from it. At this stage, developing an attitude of, well, I want to do very little work because this place pays me very little. I want to get by doing the minimum because this place is not worth it. Why are you here? Go somewhere where you'll get paid well and you're happy with it. The rest of us who don't mind getting the job done well because we have a sense of pride in our work and integrity, whatever little bit we humbly earn, at least we make wonders with what we earn. But even if you were to get paid more, what would you do with that extra stuff that you're earning? Sometimes I feel like you wouldn't even know how to handle a high income. Maybe it's good that you have a low income so that you don't accrue debt that's going to get out of control. Maybe if you had a huge amount to manage, you would lose your mind and then other problems will be created. I really hate that because some of people's issues in their personal lives, I'm like, you're complaining about this stuff, you're telling me the story, but if you perform in your personal life as shitty as you perform here, of course you're going to have problems in your personal life with your family and partners and your home management, all that shit. If you don't have a good management skill at your own job, managing yourself as an employee, you don't have a fucking chance out here. Why are you crying? And that, you guys, is one of the things that makes me say I have trouble having empathy to a certain extent because my critical side comes out and I'm like, well, if you're anything like what I'm observing in this regard, then the problem is you. But you're not prepared to hear that. You're not going to hear it. That's the problem. And I also think that people get offended way too easily. I'm glad I let this out, but I really hope that you guys don't go through this quite like I do, or maybe you do in your own way, but it's frustrating. It really is.